Hey everyone, welcome into our weather discussion. Steve Glazier here with you. Happy National Weather Person's Day. It's February 5th, 2026. This is the birth date of John Jeffries, one of the first weather persons back in, I believe, the 1700s. So it's after Groundhog's Day, and we are excited to get this party started here tonight. It's a short weather discussion that we'll have here on this Thursday night. If you find it useful, feel free to share it with anybody else around too, in terms of letting them know what's coming up their way as we get you started with what to expect. Feel free to chime in where you're watching from and any questions that you have too. So the big story that we're going to be discussing here in the next 10 or 15 minutes is about the wind, the cold, and the chance at snow. So we'll begin here with the chance of snow on Saturday, because this will be our first accumulation since we had the big wallop of a foot plus statewide about 10 to 11 days ago. So we've entered this dry stretch. We've needed a breather after that last snowstorm. And this one is another one of the smaller types of winter weather events. However, it does have the potential to add up to a few fluffy inches in parts of the state. 1 to 3 inches. Best chances for 3 inches in the eastern part of the state. I'd say closer to New London, Groton, Stonington, Mystic, and to the Rhode Island border. So kind of southeast Connecticut. And overall, eastern Connecticut, I'd say New London and Windham counties, the best chance for maybe up to that 3-inch mark. So this is Saturday. It begins around midnight tomorrow night into Saturday. And then it's kind of on and off. I would say when we look at Saturday, it's probably favoring the first half of the day. So it'll be snowing Saturday morning, and they'll be tapering off at some point in the early afternoon, anywhere between about 1 and 3 p.m. So here's one of the weather models that I'm running with tonight in terms of what is going to be most likely to happen. Tonight, we've got a fine night. It's going to get cloudy after midnight in advance of this weather system. And then tomorrow is just a cloudy, cool day with maybe a spotty flurry. Not windy, though, tomorrow. And that's a good thing because it'll turn windy this weekend. So this is midnight tomorrow night. You can see some light snow overspreading the state, and then it's kind of on and off snow shower. So you see that little ribbon, though, near Groton and the Rhode Island border. That's the potential of maybe some steadier snow in eastern Connecticut, just based on how this weather system is setting up, with lighter amounts, actually kind of for once or twice, in the Litchfield Hills in the western part of the state. And then those on and off snow showers continue to be steadiest in eastern Connecticut. This is 2:30, so you see most of the state's done, but eastern Connecticut's still snowing, and then it should be done shortly, shortly thereafter. So the weekend is one that is truly wintry. We've had a lot of these so far this winter, and it's going to be snowy on, I wouldn't say snowy, but on and off snow showers on Saturday will add up to a couple of inches of fluffy accumulation, so enough to shovel on Saturday, and enough for it to be a little bit tricky to travel to. And then Sunday is just brutally cold. And actually, as a matter of fact, Saturday night, it starts the cold air. After the snow ends, then the cold arrives. And there's been an extreme cold watch issued. So this is kind of a newer weather alert. You may have heard in the past wind chill warnings and wind chill alerts. Well, now it's just kind of basic cold, because it can be cold without the wind. So this is just to show you cold weather coming in 2 nights from now. So this is Saturday night through all day Sunday. And when these alerts are issued, it's a good idea to try to stay inside the best you can. If you have to go out, make sure that you're dressed appropriately. So look at this. I find this amazing for the wind chill forecast on Saturday. We start off feeling like about 20 to 25, not too shabby. It'll be snowing. It'll actually kind of be a nice Saturday morning. But then here comes the blast. Saturday midday, it's feeling like mid-20s in eastern Connecticut, but then below zero in the western part of the state. And that's that cold air coming in. And then by 1:30, it goes across the whole state. And if you're going out for a Saturday night, here's what it's going to be feeling like. Below zero, even 5 to 15, 20 below on Saturday at 7 p.m. So that cold means business. Overnight, Saturday night, the coldest weather. And those are numbers we don't see too often. We've seen it maybe a time or two this winter, but about 20 below. So this is rivaling probably one of the coldest stretches, especially for this winter so far, when you factor in the wind. So the gusty winds develop on Saturday. It's Arctic air that moves in. So Saturdays and overall this weekend is more of kind of an in weekend. But if you're, you get kind of pent up, you need to get outside. then do so carefully, drive safely, and try to limit the cold exposure by setting yourself up for success. We're dressing the part for Saturdays and Sundays weather. In terms of what we expect for travel, it is going to be a little bit snowy on Saturday. So it's not I think travel's doable, but it's going to be a little bit slower than it typically is. So this is the last 30 days. The numbers don't line up exactly to where you'd see a Thursday fall on the calendar, but just kind of shows you the past 30 days from January 7th all the way through now February 5th today. And we are now on a 2-week stretch of very, very cold air back from January 23rd. On January 22nd, it was briefly warmer, but if you go all the way back to about mid-January, the 15th kind of ended our last January thaw. And since then, we've just been brutally cold. This is for the Hartford area. We take the high and the low together, and then you match that to average for January and February. We had a number of days of 17, 18, 19 below average. So that has been remarkable. We have one more week of this really cold air. I don't see a warmer than average day potentially arriving until a week from today, on Thursday of next week. Now, there are indications that as we get through toward Valentine's Day weekend, next weekend, and then the week thereafter, so this is February 13th to the 19th, so it's kind of longer term, that some milder air may try to come in here to the East Coast. It looked like the pattern could flip a little bit where the West finally gets some snow, and that would push the jet stream to our north and give us some more of the milder air. So we'll have to see about that. But otherwise, the long story short here, kind of our weather headlines, another one of these Arctic blasts coming in. This has got to be kind of lost count, probably fourth or fifth time this has happened so far. So we do have to update this. I'll update this after this live hit here. 1 to 3 inches that we're expecting here Saturday. Wind gusts over 40, and then those temperatures that'll just be very, very cold. So if you're kind of curious what else is happening across the country, here's what we have going on. It's kind of this pattern of the West being really dry and warm, and then the East, we've had a snowy and cold winter here, at least in Connecticut, and the cold has been felt all the way down to Florida. So the national picture is pretty quiet tonight. I think temperatures are the big deal. Look at this this cold air mass, so you can just see where the warmth is. It's 47 in Bismarck and it's 47 in Orlando. So it's a huge difference of this jet stream that's just been dry and warm over the West and then cold in the East, some snow, and we've been above average here in Connecticut. So let me show you the 10-day outlook of what we have here at NBC Connecticut. We have a big weekend coming up, of course, with the Olympics opening ceremony tomorrow, the Super Bowl on Sunday. So there's a lot of good that's fine. This is fine. A lot of good TV watching here in terms of what we have going on. And this is perfect weather, in my opinion, to watch. A lot of good stuff on television. So I don't feel as guilty this time of the year watching this on TV for sure. So it's 8 tonight, another cold night, 30 tomorrow. Tomorrow's a cloudy day, but it's not windy. So it's chilly, but it's not the worst day. And then Saturday, it's snow showers, then windy, then cold. Windy, cold Sunday. The wind gets lighter Monday, but it's still chilly. Monday morning starts off at 5 below zero. And then our next chance of snow comes on Wednesday of next week. That one, a lot of questions in terms of timing, amounts. So we'll have to see for that. It looks like a decent chance of some light snow on Wednesday. And then there's that, evening out maybe of the temperature field, mid-30s and then some low 20s. That's much closer to average for this time of the year. And then our shoreline forecast has basically the same thing, the chance at snow. If it's warm enough at the shore next week, that snow chance may mix in with a little rain snow at the coast and a chance to hit 40 that day. So that's what we're looking at. We'll have some questions up here on the screen. All right, let's see what we have here. Glad we're all enjoying a reprieve from the nasty cold in honor of all of our meteorologists. I know today wasn't bad. I was out and about running some errands. It was 30 and sunny. So I think we made it to that point of of the winter where if it is, 30 and sunny with not much wind, it's not too bad. Hey, BD, we got BDB here watching from the wonderful Great Lakes region, and really appreciate everybody. All right, so we'll keep it at that. We'll run this thing about 10-15 minutes. We'll close it out. So that's the kind of the weather briefing. Feel free to share it with others. And again, if you're going out and about this weekend, just watch out for some of the snow on Saturday and some of the cold on Saturday night and Sunday. So big thanks to everybody. Always appreciate you watching and staying up to date with us here at NBC Connecticut. We'll be